Abariyako everybody, this is Regine from BIC Coffee School. I'm the head of coffee over there, and this is our bi-weekly Kahawa chat. So this week the Kahawa chat was on coffee and colonialism, and I have to say was and not is, because when I was doing the Instagram live, well, didn't record it. I mean, I recorded, but I lost the video, so we didn't have the chat. So this is all the things we've been talking about during this chat, which was a very interesting chat about how coffee is so attached by colonialism, because without it, coffee will not travel, it will stay in Ethiopia. So somewhere, how odd it is, but yes, colonialism just spread coffee around the world and this knowledge. And but we're not here to glorify colonialism, obviously. I'm the wrong person for that. And I have no intention to do such thing. But we're here to really understand it and to remember in order not to do it again. So that's why you have history there to make a reminder of things and say, oops, that was wrong, let's not do it again. And this chat for this week just came out really simply. Actually, much more like this is just first my history. I have to tell you a bit more about myself. So as you know, even if I live here in Nairobi, I'm actually from Paris, where I was born and raised, and my family is from Martinique. And Martinique, if you know about the history of coffee, this island is very important because from this island spread all the coffee in South America, except for Costa Rica, they got it from Haiti. But yes, we are really proud of this. We are really proud of our history in coffee, but now our main thing is a banana, luxury banana. And when people ask me where I'm coming from, I always say, yes, Paris, and I'm Caribbean. And I says, they're looking at me, they look at my eyes, it's true, and everything. And when you go further, the thing is, yes, my both grandparents on my mother's side are both Asian, actually half Asian, from Indochine and from China, okay, because they were, a lot of them were French. And that is this. And I'm sure if you carry on further, there's more. There's more. But we went, there is more because we check. And it's just really incredible to see that I have all that coffee history traveling through my blood. And how related I am to coffee. So that's why, first of all, because it was for me a personal journey, where I'm coming from, and how technically my gene travel, and also because of this very, very interesting Instagram page that is a coffee producer led, called Voices of Coffee. So it's each month a different country. So they start with Colombia, now Brazil and everything, and they're going to come to Africa, to Southeast Asia. So it's a very, really well organized and coffee producer led Instagram. I invite you to go there. So I'm going to put also a link there below. And they made a remark about, actually they were telling some people that they have some issue with their name and they should change this. And or they advise them, so why not changing something? And I'm going to tell you about the name. The name is the Dutch Colony. So there's this roastery in, I think, Singapore called the Dutch Colony. So when we see what the Dutch did to that time, during the colony time, to what they did to the local, is quite mind-blowing that someone dare calling their roastery Dutch Colony. And when you go to their website, where they just glorify how fantastic the Dutch were, because they brought coffee to their place, but they forgot to notice that yes, they were raping, brutalizing, cutting hand, cutting ears, cutting whatsoever they could cut, crucified them, tortured them for centuries, while they were just also people were slaving into coffee field. So this they totally erased an horrible part, and they just kept the wow, Dutch brought coffee to our country. And you say, wow, that was just mind-blowing. And you're just wondering if people just don't have memory. So just process of coffee, just add them really nicely and politely. Do you understand what involved calling your place in Singapore, knowing your distance, knowing your origin? That it just really, I mean, it's a really bad test. And obviously, they defend. You have to admit, they defend their point of view, thinking that the Dutch done great things in Southeast Asia. It was just fantastic. So under them, it's just wow. That really scared me. And they're not Dutch, by the way. Then that was the first thing. The second thing that really said, God, we need to talk about colonialism in coffee, because frankly, people have the shortest memory. Like if it's not on Facebook, it just never existed. And at this moment, I was just talking with a really good friend of mine who is absolutely wonderful. She has an Instagram called A Word in Your Cup. Her name is Erica Koss. She's one of the creators of Coffee Sustainability, the last program of SCA. And she talks a lot about women in coffee and mostly the colonialism, because when people talk about sustainability, they say, oh, it's beautiful and rosy and we go in to plant beautiful things in our garden. But sustainability is also all the things attached to it, and colonialism is in it also, because the way people were doing the coffee and were just enslaving people were not so good sustainable things to do. And when you see today in coffee, the way sometimes people do is still under that colonialism, and it's not sustainable. So she's really involved into it and just say to people, no, you can't do this. And Erica, as we were talking, she made this fantastic article, which is in Barista magazine, and I really advise you to read it. And this one is Coffee Colonialism 101. It's a great article, and inside she points the big step, the big event in how coffee had been distributed and all the colonialism attached to it. Because without colonialism, coffee will be still in Ethiopia today. Okay, that will be it. But because of colonialism, it traveled. And the thing is how people now just realize that history, realize what happened, and understand the story attached to coffee. And the things I've really noticed is every time you talk about coffee and you talk about colonialism, people just brush it apart. And when they just talk one little thing like the black history of coffee, the dark history of coffee, and that stuff there. So colonialism in coffee is dark history of coffee. It's 4 little words. That is it. And we stop there. It's much more than this. It's people involved into it. It's children. It's it's centuries of mistreating human being. So it's much more than just a dark spot and you just brush it out. And that's why I wanted to do this live on Instagram for our Kahawa chat today. Unfortunately, I lost it. So let's recap what we saw during that time. So the advantage of this is just you have all those people who come and talk and everything. And that was great because we have someone from Kenya, from central Kenya. His name is Nico. Or you're going to have, I'm going to put his Instagram name, Nicodemus. So like this, you can follow him. He's a Q grader and he lives in Johannesburg. So if you go to Joburg, please go and say hello to him. very, very nice person. And his grandfather was actually lived the what we call the Mau Mau uprising. So for those who are familiar with the Kenya history, I don't need to explain this, but for all the people who are going to watch this video and you don't know about the Kenyan colonialism history, the Mau Mau uprising was a moment where Kenyan decided just to say stop to the British colony, to the British colons, that they do not stop them to carry on that cruelty they were enduring. So they were just fighting against that. And it was like some kind of big revolution, and Kenyans said, stop, enough of this. So it was just telling us about how it was really hard and a lot of people died. So it's something that is still there, and it still has a stigma of this up to today. So I really encourage you to see much more about it. So I'm going to write it down below, Mau Mau uprising, and please check it out. And it says a lot of things to say about it. There's also someone called Coffee Culture who says something very interesting about how do I feel. He asked me, how do I feel about coffee tourism? And I just have to say, sometimes it does leave a bad aftertaste in my mouth. Let me explain that. I have coffee tourism myself. I do some coffee tourism, and there's a lot of them that I've really advised, say to people, just go there because those people really do the things right. But many of other people who organize this kind of tourism just really, do it in a very colonialist way. And let me explain. When I go to someone's place, that person has some expectation and some standard. I'm going to their home, so I have to have some manners, and I have to act properly and respect the fact that this is not my home, I'm a guest there. And when I do coffee tourism, I really make sure that people understand that you are a guest. You don't go around and say to people, do this, do this, do this because I'm the expat. No such thing. You are a guest. That's all. You have to always remember that. And I've been living in Kenya for several years, but at the end of the day, I am a guest in Kenya, and people welcome me here, and I have to respect that. And I have to feel thankful for them to accept me here. Okay? So you have to understand you are a guest there. And you have other coffee tourism where people, they go in places and everybody's singing for them, and you think some kind of Hollywood made in coffee producing country. I can tell you, working for several years in coffee and traveling from place to place in coffee farm, I rarely see people singing and doing things just for the Instagram video. No, they have to work, okay? So do not expect that because you arrive that people are going to start singing and jumping up and down just because you're white. Those kind of things, just leave it for Instagram. It's extremely rude. And that kind of coffee tourism, I do not accept it because it's not reality, and it gives some kind of weird idea like, oh yes, I saw people in Ethiopia when they do this, they're always singing. Just black people have other things to do than singing and dancing all day long. They do work, okay? So you need to take that things out of your head. It's true, we do sing, okay? It's true. But not all the time, okay? And not especially for you because you're white. So there's this kind of things it gets me so angry. And this is pure colonialism. I'm just wondering, are we in 21st century? What is wrong with people thinking that because you come, because you're the little Asian in Southeast Asian, or the little Colombian, or the little black one, so you go in to do your little singing just for me. That is rude. That kind of thinking is very colonialist. So you need just to wipe it off. Because this cannot happen. And that is a kind of coffee tourism that really leave a bad taste in my mouth. And this is where colonialism is today. That kind of things like when you come from global south, well, you're here to entertain global north. Doesn't work like this. Okay. And this kind of idea need to change because we need to progress. We need to go further. You need to understand each other, to respect each other. So coffee tourism, obviously I'm for this because it markets the producer, that is, they can promote their coffee. So if it's to help promote, market a producer and just create awareness to the rest of the world about this producer, yes, of course I'm for coffee tourism, because you're going to make someone grow. You're going to be a part of his evolution, of that person's evolution. But if you're going over there just like this, they're going to dance while they turn in the sherry on the coffee bed. There's enough for stupidity like this on Instagram. Don't you think it's alright? Okay, maybe that should stop. And it's highly offensive. Highly offensive. So we need to really stop this offensive idea that when you go to global north, or global south, that people are going to be here to entertain you. Alright, you can go to theater for that. There's Hollywood for that, okay? So we need to stop that. So this is where, that's the things that really I wanted to talk, and I talked actually this morning. And that is a subject we need to come back, but much more on small little things, like for example one part on coffee tourism today and how we evolve, and another part on how we act when we're abroad, all those kind of things. And it's really, the thing is, colonialism in coffee did not disappear suddenly during the 50s when everybody started to have their independence. Far from it. Colonialism still exists today, and unfortunately is very, really, really strong and anchored in people's head. So we need to go further. We need to understand that that period, that time has to be over. Now it has to be done. And that's why it's really good to remember history in order that history stay history. Okay? That is very, very important. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things during colonialism time we just don't know, because people burn books, they burn papers, they burn everything just to hide their crimes. And Erica just talked about this in this paper. But it's not a reason to burn our memory and say, oh, that didn't exist. Today is different. If I do it today, it's fine. No, it's not fine. It was not fine 200 years ago. Why do you think it will be fine today? Okay? So this is what I wanted just to talk about, doing all these kind of things. Unfortunately, it's gone, but it's not forgotten. That's why I'm doing this. And I'm going to put also link below. Also people I would like to thank. First of all, I was doing this at this place called Tomoka, which is in Two Rivers in Nairobi. So Tomoka is Ethiopian roasters. They've been in Addis since 1953. And they open in Two Rivers Mall in Nairobi, and it's their first shop outside of Ethiopia. So I wanted to say thank you to them for welcoming for this great chat, which unfortunately you can't see, but just go, the link is below. If you come to Nairobi, just go and see them and say hi. And I would like to thank also all the people who give fantastic comments, like Trish from Ireland, Emma from England, Otile from Kenya, Nico from Kenya living in South Africa. For the people who very inspire me for this, Voices of Coffee. Thank you for the awareness and the ally to put to the coffee producer. So Voices of Coffee, just go and check on them. Erica Koss, who is a fantastic mentor, very nice person, heart of gold, bubbly, amazing person. And all her sustainability programs that she does with two other women, and another one that's Nora. So both, actually there are three, they're absolutely amazing, and they really, when you do coffee sustainability program, you really analyze that part. That dark story of coffee is no more dark. It's a massive reality, sad reality, and we need to change it. So thank you, Erica and Barista Magazine, for publishing something like this. We need more like this. We need really, really more things about colonialism. And thank you for all the people who say fantastic things this morning. Thank you, Coffee Culture. Okay. And just to tell you, we're going to talk more of that subject on small part, and is going to be with every time another people. So I'm going to do one maybe in 1 month or two with Coffee Culture, where we're going to talk about coffee tourism, because Coffee Culture have very interesting things to say. So link is below for the Instagram, and other things about colonialism in coffee, because it is very important. It's what coffee is about. I don't think coffee is a bad thing, but when the colon left, and most of the country just say, okay, let's take over and let's make money. It's time for us to make money. And it's what we should thank. We should thank the people that were resilient after this and say, we're going to take over this and own it and make a living out of it. It's really hard because they're not really paid for this, unfortunately. But they really show a lot of resilience. Say, we're coming from slavery, and that cash crop was the reason why we were slaves. But now the colonial gate, so let's take it back and own it and make our own, make it from a bad thing, make it something positive. We can live from that, we can feed our children. So it's those people we should thank, and not the common. Sorry. No. And so I'm going to say thank you for all of you. It was really great. And next time I make sure that I do keep the video. We're going to do much more of this. So it's every 2 weeks, Kahawa chat, and also other event. And me, you can find me, if you come to Kenya, you can find me on at BRHC Coffee School. So we have also our Instagram, which is here, and I put the logo just there. Yes. So I'm going to put the logo there, so you're going to see it. And come and check on us. We're doing SEA course online, we're doing SEA course live, we're going to do coffee event and everything. So it will be really a great place. So I want to say thank you to all of you, and see you in 2 weeks, where we're going to talk about how COVID-19 improve your resiliency, how you're coming over from that COVID-19, which is unfortunately still there. So it's what we're going to talk about. Okay. Asante sana, and see you soon. Bye.